Hello, welcome to another Pen Talk. I've been quite motivated recently to upload some videos of some of the many pens that I have, so I hope you enjoy this little view of a different type of pen. I've been on a run of Deltas, so during that course I continued to look for other unique writing instruments. This one caught my eye on eBay. It's a Hero 395. Hero is one of the big Chinese pen manufacturers. Jinhao is another one. There's probably tons of them. I'm certain a lot of this is driven by the Asian market, which is probably quite huge. And also I think a lot of these manufacturers are engaged in potentially making some of the parts that go into some of the less expensive pens that are sold under brand names. This pen caught my eye because it was called a copper bar. The price was a little bit higher than most pens of this nature. It was a whole $12 on eBay, free shipping. It took about 3 weeks to get here, which is typical, but I've never had an issue with delivery. So I'm willing to wait. It's also on Amazon. For a similar price, but includes a lot of shipping, which brings it up close to $20. And at $20, then it puts it into another range of inexpensive pens, which I think compete well. So therefore, to me, the $12 is probably the maximum price for this type of writing instrument. It is well made. I like the design. I like the color. Clean design. The Jinhao, the Dragon pen that I reviewed a while ago, certainly was not something I would call subdued. The clip has a Hero emblem on it. And around the bottom of the cap is engraved the 395, which is the model number, some Chinese characters, and Hero, which is the brand. A nice secure cap, pops off. The section is a small metal section. It's about as small as you'd want in a pen. You might want to grip it above that. I haven't written with this pen much, so I can't decide where I'm going to end up, but there's nothing really sharp here. There is a pretty good step up from the section to the barrel, but none of it's uncomfortable. The nib is a steel nib with some plating materials on it. Nothing unique about the nib. There's, to me this is typical of these types of pens. There's usually some type of engraving or stamping on the nib, and the Hero logo is there. The feed's an interesting feed. It's not typical of what I've seen. There's no finning in it. I haven't taken this apart, so I don't know. I'm certain there's a channel of some type underneath of that. Like I said, the main drawback I see from the pen is this small metal section. I'm not a fan of holding metal while I write, but it was worth a try. This is one of the things that you do, I think, when you're into pens and enjoy pens. Is today there are so many different options and so many ways of purchasing them and adding to your writing enjoyment. The cap securely posts, clicks on place to the back of the pen. It makes for a decently long pen. It's over 6 inches, over 152 millimeters from end to end when it's capped. We'll put up some of the other dimensions on there. So let's take a look at how this puppy writes. I had some discussion with myself about what to use. So after some minor discussions, I decided I would use this ink from Organic Studios, which is, I don't think they make ink anymore. This was kind of a closeout sale, so it was an inexpensive purchase, and I enjoy blue inks, and this one sounded a little bit interesting. One of the things about Organic Studio that I thought was nice is it's a nice clean bottle. I like that in design. And it is an interesting blue. So we open it up. It's always good to look at the cap. It is kind of in the greenish blue turquoise kind of family, but it is quite saturated and dark. As we unscrew the section to reveal the filling mechanism, nice clean threads. And this is a typical push mechanism, you know, kind of similar to what Parker probably invented in the late 1940s for their Parker 51s at the Vacuumatic. There's a Hero logo there, which is nice. There's just a bladder inside. It's a clear silicone bladder, so I expect it to have a fairly long life. And as you can see, filling this whole section is going to give you a lot of ink. I think this comes apart. Yeah, so it just slips out. So you could use cartridges in here. Standard International, I would assume, since all the Chinese pens seem to be designed for that. It fits very securely. So let's dip in the ink. We'll pump, and as you can see, there's air bubbles that come out. I'm only going to do one pump, and we'll take it from there. I had to put in a new battery on the camera, so I removed the ink bottle. We're going to assemble the pen after the filling. I've cleaned the nib and section. Even though I'm not a fan of metal sections, they do clean up quite easily after inking the pen. Let's bring over our Rhodia dot pad and let's write with the Hero 395. Sometimes I've seen it referred to as the copper bar. My first impressions with the nib is it's a typical steel Chinese nib. It's not scratchy. It gives a decent amount of feedback. The feedback is inconsistent depending upon how the stroke is being done. On the upward strokes, it's fairly, I wouldn't call it scratchy, but it cuts into the paper a lot. On the downward strokes, it's fairly nice. As you can see, there's even an interesting way the flow of the ink. There is a little bit of flux in the nib. I wouldn't call it an excellent writing experience. As I said, I experiment with these pens. Have you seen my first reviews of the Jinhao 599s? I thought that point was excellent, you know, equal to the German steel nibs and the Pelikan Lamy that it emulates. Sorry, the Lamy that it emulates. If you followed some of my Delta videos, you'll realize that the writing experience to me is what makes the pen. And this one, at first, writing is not the best. You know, I'll put this away and probably pull it out later when I'm in the mood to try something different. So hopefully you found this interesting. Thank you for watching. And may all your writing experiences be pleasurable, and at least better than my handwriting.